Welcome to the second episode of my weekly chord progression series. In today's video, I've got a progressive metal style chord progression prepared for you. If you like the band Periphery, this chord progression is heavily inspired by them. So if you like metal in that style, you're going to really love this chord progression and the techniques behind it. And even if you're not a metalhead, you're going to really enjoy this technique in your own progressions. So take a listen and then we'll jump into the explanation. How's it going? I'm Dave and my channel is all about helping you create awesome neo-soul, R&B and other modern sounds on your guitar. If you're new here and that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you click the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I release a new video. So today we're going to be taking a look at that chord progression you just heard. As I said, very inspired by the band Periphery, and if you're into your tech metal, into your prog metal, you're really gonna love this technique and it's really gonna enhance your chord progressions. So first things first, we're playing in drop D. Our low E string is dropped down to a D. This makes the technique much easier to do. You probably could do it in standard tuning, but it is a lot harder and you'll see why in a minute. So I don't know if you noticed, but in the chord progression, every single chord has a little bit of tension and a little bit of dissonance contained within it. And that is because I'm using semitone intervals within the chords themselves. Okay? And when you play semitones together, they sound dissonant. That is the main thing we're doing in this chord progression, okay? But let's dive a bit deeper. So we're playing in the key of B minor, and what are the notes in the key of B minor? They are B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. So what we need to do is we need to find out what the semitone intervals in the key are. So we've got the notes C sharp to D, and we've got the notes F sharp to G. And we need to be able to play these at the same time. Yeah, there's lots of different locations. You can play these all over the fretboard, okay? So I'm not gonna bore you and show you every single place you can do it. I'm sure you can figure out how to do it. All you got to do is find the lower note. So for example, C sharp, and then on the next string, it's 4 frets lower. So C sharp on the A string is the 4th fret. On the D string, we're going to play the open string. The only time this changes is when we're playing from the G string to the B string. So say our C sharp is at the 6th fret of the G string. We're going to go 3 frets back to the B string, and that's going to be the 3rd fret. Okay, so that's how you find these shapes. Now the next step is to create a basic chord progression with some power chords. Let's take a look at the one that I created. I'm playing the 9th fret, which is a B. Then I'm playing the 5th fret, which is a G. Then I'm playing the open power chord, which is a D. Then I'm playing the 7th fret, which is an A. Okay? Now with power chords, we've only got the root and the 5th. There's no 3rd in there. So you can't tell whether they're a major or a minor chord, but they're implied by where they are in the key. So for example, B is definitely going to be a B minor, isn't it? And then G is going to be a G major, D is going to be a D major, and then A is going to be an A major. That's what's implied by the power chords, even though we're not explicitly playing major or minor chords. Now what we need to do is find locations of these semitone intervals that are close to the power chords that we're playing. Now the reason we're playing in drop D is so that we only need to use one finger to play a power chord, and then we've got the rest of our fingers free to play these semitone intervals. So let's take a look at the ones I chose. So I'm playing the 9th fret power chord with my middle finger. Then I'm putting my little finger on the 11th fret of the D string and my index finger on the 7th fret of the G string, sorry. So we get this semitone with this power chord. Okay, now I've got a spare finger free here, so I decided to just put it on this 10th fret of the B string. And we get this awesome sound, okay? There's no reason why I put it on here except for the fact that it sounds good. Okay, so anytime you've got a spare finger, see if you can use it to add a little extension to your chord to make it sound a little nicer. But there we go, there's our first chord. Then the second chord, we're playing at the 5th fret. Now I actually use 2 fingers for this power chord here. I'm using my ring finger for the 5th fret of the low E string and my little finger for the 5th fret of the A string. Then I'm going to put my middle finger on the 4th fret of the D string. And then we're playing the G string open. That's where we get our semitone. And then our index finger is going on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now the cool thing about these semitones that I didn't mention earlier is that they create a kind of tension in the chord progression which keeps things moving. Sometimes chords can kind of give the chord progression a really resolved feeling and it doesn't feel like it needs to go anywhere. But with these semitones, it adds that tension and keeps the chord progression moving because you always want to hear it going somewhere else. So it creates a really cool energy in your song. Start utilizing this and you'll see the difference in the energy and the vibe of your songs. But yeah, that's the second chord. Then we're moving to the third chord, which is... Okay, so what I'm playing is the low open, low D string. I'm playing the 4th fret of the A string here, and then the D string is played open, so that's where our semitone is. Okay. Then I'm playing the 2nd fret of the G string with index finger, and 3rd fret of the B string with my middle finger. Okay. And then for the last 2 chords, at the 7th fret power chord, what I did is I put my little finger on the 11th fret of the D string, and the 7th fret of the G string is the semitone above it. So we've got... Okay, so we've got that shape. And then I used another shape for the 7th fret power chord, and that was 11th fret on the G string with my little finger, and then the 8th fret of the B string with my middle finger. There's our semitone there. Okay, so all together we've got these chords. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you can start using this technique in your chord progressions. It really, really is an effective way of writing something unique and interesting. Now I've got a new book called Chord Charisma 2.0 coming out. This is one of the techniques I talk about in the book, along with tons of other chord progression techniques. So as I said, the book's coming out soon, but I do have an earlier version of the book out now, of which you can check out the first 2 chapters. The first 2 chapters are going to show you how to write your basic chord progression and add extensions like 9ths, 11ths and 13ths to those chords to create cool, sophisticated and jazzy sounds. If you want to check those first 2 chapters out for free, head down to the link in the description and you can check it out there. Also, keep an eye out for updates on the book. It's coming out, I think, next week on the 7th of December, as long as everything goes to plan. And I know you're gonna get so much out of this book. I've put so much work into it. I'm gonna shave years off your learning curve when it comes to your guitar playing and chord progressions with this book. Keep an eye out. I'm very excited for it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you click like, let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Check out this video here, as I'm sure you're going to love that as well. See you there. Have a good one.